Joining me now, Defense Minister Harjit Sajjan. Sir, welcome to the program, and I appreciate you joining us. Let's just talk about the terror bombings attributed to ISIS at the inside the airport. The casualty rates are very high. Did the Canadian forces know of an imminent terror attack at the border, and how close were Canadian troops to the location where those bombs went off?
First of all, Evan, I just want to pass on my sincere condolences to all the family members who lost loved ones, the U.S. service members and the wounded as well, and also the Afghans, and condemn this terrorist attack when the rest of the world is just trying to help Afghans themselves. And to answer your question directly, yes, we were tracking the intelligence very closely from day one. This type of operation requires a significant amount of security, and maintaining that security is absolutely essential to carry out an operation like this when you have so many civilians coming into an aircraft and into an airport and then onto aircrafts is quite complex. And you saw the images of the crowds and you know, the sheer desperation with the people outside. So during this time, obviously, we maintained that security, and the decisions that we have made as a result of making sure that our own personnel remain safe, and this is also for the safety of the Afghans who were trying to help as well.
Were there any Canadian CAF members in the vicinity where that bomb went off before the air bridge was closed for Canadians? Were they close to that area?
We had majority of our personnel did get on a flight before this. We do have a small team on the ground, and the Chief of Defence Staff reported to me very quickly when this incident occurred, and that all our personnel were accounted for. In terms of the location, of course, our Canadian Armed Forces member were using every opportunity, including Abbey Gate and other locations, to get as many Afghans inside the airport and eventually to safety through evacuation.
You say there's still Canadian forces on the ground. Tell us what they're doing, and is there any hope that any more people who are either holding a passport or any documents can get through and come to Canada, or is it too late and it's over?
I want to make it very clear, our Canadian Armed Forces did extraordinary work to get as many people out. And as Chief of Defence Staff reported this morning, we were one of the last nations to actually come inside and keep pulling as many people out and getting into the airport. While our troops right now are focused on the safe evacuation of all our coalition personnel, obviously they will take if an opportunity comes up to bring somebody to safety, because this is what they've been doing from the beginning. But right now, the immediate focus is the safety of our personnel and getting everybody, including the coalition members,
Minister, this is important. You're saying that there's still an opportunity to get someone through, but a letter was literally sent out from the Canadian government to people saying the last flight is gone. There's no hope to come. You're saying now that there might be an opportunity still to get people out?
No, Evan, let me explain that. Remember what I just stated to you? We had thousands of people that were coming inside to the airport. So up until even just recently, we were getting the last people out. It's our responsibility for us as a government to making sure that we're pushing out information to the Canadian citizens for their safety, making sure that they're aware of what is going on, and also for the next step. What I am talking about is within the confounds of the airport itself. If there is somebody that is at the airport, remember, this is not where any other regular airport we can have just immediate accountability. What I'm trying to tell you is, if there is somebody who's happened to be in the airport in this chaotic situation, of course our people will. But as I stated, the number one priority right now is to the safe evacuation
Minister,
of all our personnel.
I spoke to someone, Basir, we'll air it again just after your interview, who told us that in the final hours, Canadians were only accepting people with Canadian passport holders and those with high-level connections, but people with case numbers and interpreters were told to literally, quote, go home by soldiers. why were only passport holders given help through the gates? Why not help Afghan interpreters and their family get to the airport safely?
So, Evan, when it came to the management of how many people, the work that our Canadian Armed Forces were doing, just imagine the situation that they're working in. And then over the 24 hours, they had 1,000 people that they were able to bring out. And now alongside with our coalition partners, understanding the withdrawal plan that was there. Now, it also comes down to a simple mathematics problem to making sure that we can actually get people out. So our folks are making those very difficult decisions, heart-wrenching decisions, to get the people inside so they can get on aircraft, because last thing we want is at the same time when there are no space on aircraft. So what I'm trying to say here is, I don't judge our troops on the ground for making those, when it comes to those decisions. I am very proud, Evan, and this is very important. The extreme circumstances that our people have worked through have been immense. And I want to make sure that Canadians know that because of their extraordinary effort that we were able to pull out as many people. And when it comes to the ones that were, it is hard. As we watch the images from afar and see how heart-wrenching it is, imagine what it's been like for a Canadian Armed Forces personnel on the ground. They put their heart and soul to get as many people out.
We're putting them in the position by waiting so long to help. That has been the criticism. But sir, quickly, will the government and will you instantly designate applicant refugee status, especially for women, to all those people? The U.S. is doing it. Canada hasn't done it. That will be very critical. Will you designate applicant refugee status?
Evan, first of all, our government was the first one to announce the number of Afghans that we're going to be taking in. The policies that we put into place are far more broader than any other nation for acceptance. Of course, we're going to be supporting all those Afghans. As Minister Mendocino has said, those visas will remain valid. Now we will work on those next steps to get them back. This is not over. We are going to continue our work in not just to supporting our Canadian citizens, but also all the Afghans who supported us, the vulnerable communities that are there, especially women and girls, and going to do our best to be able to support them to get them out. We've got
3,700 people out, which is great. We were supposed to get 20,000. We have no access there. We've got no embassy there. So let me ask you, we got to get them out somehow. Let me ask you this. Is Canada prepared? Does it have a C-17 on standby to go back to that airport if things change, if the situation stabilizes in some way? Would Canada send a C-17 back in, as the British are prepared to do, to evacuate more people?
Evan, I'm telling you that we will look at all those options. All those options are on the tables. We're prepared to go back in. We were prepared to stay longer if need be. We will not only look at those options, but right now we have teams that are going to staging areas where the U.S. are bringing out people, to making sure that the Afghans that were destined for Canada do make it here. That is being worked on right now as we speak. We're also will be getting in touch with people looking at third locations. Minister Garneau has already stated and given the direction to the embassies and consulates to be ready and to prepare to support people who make it to third countries. We're going to look at all those options, just like when we came together as a coalition during this emergency phase of this portion of the operation. Opportunities that came up, we took them, and then we will continue to look at those opportunities and take them.
The U.S. just gave a press conference when they said we are sharing security information around the airport with the Taliban. They are working with the Taliban. ISIS is the terror group that bombed it. I know we deem Taliban a terror group. I understand it. But practically, to save people on the ground, is Canada formally engaged in some talks with the Taliban to try to secure people to get from their location to the airport? This is the critical thing. It shouldn't be an operational security thing. The U.S. has admitted they're doing it. Is Canada?
We have taken every single opportunity and give flexibility for our troops, worked very closely with the allies. We know that, as you know, there were a lot of Taliban checkpoints that were put into place. We needed to make sure that we had to get people through there safely. Our number one priority during this portion was always trying to get as many Afghans to safety, and we took every opportunity that there were to do so, and we worked very closely with our allies on every initiative.
I know your colleague, Maryam Monsef, addressed the Taliban directly as brothers. She said it was a culturally sensitive issue. I know you're a veteran of the Afghan war. Did that term insult you? Was it an offensive term to you or an appropriate term?
I think my colleague, Minister Monsef, has been very clear that the Taliban are a terrorist organization.
Like, is that a word you would use?
The Taliban are a terrorist organization, and my colleague had made that very clear, Evan.
I know it's a busy time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Evan.
Okay, so that's the defense minister. Kind of interesting there. Again, no idea if Canada would even speak to the Taliban, like the U.S., to try to facilitate some kind of safe passage to the airport and get a C-17 back in, help more people, but a lot of interesting things there. The defense minister also saying he would not judge Canadian soldiers who turn people away.